From Acapulco, Mexico, this is Anarchast.
Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Anarchast, your home for anarchy on the internet. We're here in London for the Dash conference. I ran into Danny Sessom. I've been on his show many times, on the crypto show. If you don't know about that show, definitely check it out. It's awesome. If you're into cryptocurrency stuff, that's the show you want to check out. And I actually just saw Danny at the Nexus conference in Aspen like 2 days ago.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah. He just got here this morning. I got here last night. I've been running into him at almost every show, actually. I ran into you at the Red Pill Expo. You come to every Anarchapulco.
Oh, yeah.
Usually driving as well.
That's definitely the best. Show up for the Anarchapulco. Don't miss that. You're an idiot if you don't go.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that. Yeah, and you've been actually doing so much raising cryptocurrency to help with a number of natural disasters. Most recent one in Houston. You're actually headed down to Mexico City, which I was just at the Mexico City earthquake. We'll talk about that a little bit. Before we get into all that, though, Danny, I got to ask you, how did you become an anarchist?
I guess the same as most people, Ron Paul. But I think leading up to that would have been Ayn Rand via Rush. I was a huge fan of Rush, and that's how I discovered Ayn Rand from 2112 album.
Oh, that's great. I've heard about this relationship between Rush and Ayn Rand, but I didn't know about it. I like Rush. I love the song Tom Sawyer, right. But I'm not I don't listen to all their songs. What did they say about?
The album 2112 is basically a rewrite of the book Anthem by Ayn Rand.
Oh, really? I did not know that. I'll have to check it out. Yeah, very cool. So you found out about that, then you found out about Ron Paul.
Yeah. Started following Ron Paul, and I became a delegate and went down there, and I was one of the ones out there like an idiot holding the sign, "In the Fed, in the Fed." Which, sure, I'm sure it needs to be ended, but that's kind of where I discovered Bitcoin and figured out that I can just opt out.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you have been doing that. You've got the crypto show, radio show, and now you've been raising funds for a lot of disaster relief sort of stuff. And it's kind of interesting. Ron Paul's from your state of Texas. You live there in Texas.
And Ernie Hancock actually hooked me up with Ron Paul's secretary, and we went to Lake Jackson and tried to help out, but there really wasn't anyone there that needed the help, so we went to some neighboring towns.
Oh, that's interesting. And I've been hearing about from you just how little the government's been helping, or if they're even helping at all, and how much people like yourself have been helping. So let's talk first about what you've seen on the ground.
Well, the government is a great help when they're not around. So I can say that. No, they're literally standing in the way. They're stopping the progress from people. What you see on the ground is not government helping anyone. It's Joe Bassboat showing up to pull someone out of a house, which we did. We can talk about that in a little while with Dash. And it's churches. It's just everybody. People showing up down there with cases of water, and I heard a lot. I think I even heard you saying about price gouging. Now, as far as water goes, I don't think that really happened because, everybody and their brother showed up with a truckload of water, and you couldn't sell water to save your life down there. So
that's good.
Yeah.
But in general, the government was a hindrance in every way that you saw, right?
Absolutely. So one of the first places that we ran into that was Port Arthur. We went to the high school, and there were about 300 people inside the high school auditorium, sleeping or whatever because of the floodwaters. And the police said, "Here, we'll take your supplies." And like, no, we're not handing you anything. So we went around to the other side of the building and just pretended like we knew what we were doing, and we set up shop. And within about 3 hours, we made meals and care packages for all 300 people. We went inside later and made sure that everybody in there had, a towel, toothbrush, toothpaste, deodorant, everything they needed. And these are the things that weren't being supplied. And then again, I went to NRG Center, which is the main shelter for the Houston area, and this is a big football dome, I guess, like the Superdome from New Orleans.
Which was another disaster.
Yeah.
That turned into like a torture rape camp, thanks to FEMA.
Yeah, so the first day I showed up and there was a big sign that says no more donations, and that day we had brought meals. So, I made the mistake of stopping and asking permission. Dumb mistake. All right. So yeah, they turned us around. They said, go to this other place. We went to the other place. It was George M. Brown Center or something like that downtown. And they said the same thing. No, we don't need it. So we went around to the other side of the building and just started handing out stuff to people that were outside. And they were glad to have all that. So, that worked out great. So the next day, I went back to NRG Center, and this time I realized that, hey, stop asking permission. If you want to help people, just don't ask government. Go do it yourself. They're just in the way. So we just drove right past them, went to the back parking lot, and I seen these signs that said media. So I started following. Hey, I got a little card that says I work for a radio station. I can get back there, no problem. Well, and then I realized that the parking area was right next to the media area. So I just went to there. There were 4 of us, and we all grabbed about 5 bags and just started finding people in the parking lot, and we would hand it off to them. Well, when we pulled up, one of the guys who was a volunteer was actually one of the people that we pulled out with our dash boat like 2 days before, 30 miles away in some other small city. So here we are I don't know how many million people are in Houston, but here's this guy. Oh, it's dash.org. He's seen the signs on my truck, and Harlan, the other member of the show, had taken a boat down there and pulled 30 people out with the boat. And this was all funded by Dash. So that guy actually helped us to get some wristbands so that we could sneak the supplies into NRG Center and hand these off. So 2 of the people that we had with us from Factum had their IDs on them. They took the stuff in, they got some pictures and everything, and all those people said that they didn't have those things. Towels, toothbrush, toothpaste. Although they have a big sign outside that says, no more donations, we got it covered. Well, that's absolutely not the truth. But one of the sickest things I seen there was when I went inside, I got just beyond the checkpoint, and I'm standing there, and some 7-year-old child walks up and just assumes the position with his hands out, like, this is no big thing, go ahead and search me. The kid's wearing short sleeve shirts, and they take all the way down to his fingers. They have, they want to feel all the way down to his fingers, run their fingers through his hair. All that, there's no reason for that other than programming or intimidation. From what I heard from the people inside is that they have their bunks out there, just cots that they're sleeping on. 10 p.m. is lights out. They have to be sitting on their bed, and they can't get up off the bed for the rest of the night. That's a prison. Here's these people that have just lost everything, and they're being treated like prisoners. How is that helping? That's sick.
Yeah, it's typical when the government's involved. I just actually came from Mexico City, and I was in the Mexico City airport when the big earthquake hit. It was 7.1. And that was interesting. I actually met up with Jose Rodriguez, a good friend of ours. Right. He's one of the main people at Bitso.com, the top Bitcoin exchange in Mexico. And he was out all day with the CEO of Bitso helping people, and they ended up raising a lot of money in cryptocurrencies. And that's something you did as well. Yeah. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
So, as the storm came in, we literally didn't even have power that night. So our radio signal was down. We said, screw it. We're going to do a Facebook Live one and just talk about what I had planned. I had money left over from our Dash proposal that was, designated for unsung.org. We go around and feed homeless people, and I was doing it on the road and everything else. Well, I reached out to Roger and said, hey, maybe I'll ask Roger. We'll make maybe a little bit bigger impact. So Roger gave us $4,000. Roger Ver gave us $4,000 from Bitcoin.com, and one of the listeners started posting on the Facebook page while we were broadcasting that he would match up to 10 Bitcoins for any donation that people sent in. Well, the next thing I know, he just sent 10 Bitcoins, and then all of his friends, I think Randy from Panama.
Randy Hilarski is a past Anarchast guest and works with us on social media.
Right. Anthem Blanchard.
Past Anarchast guest is actually here at this conference.
A lot of people, man. We never asked for a single dime. That's the thing. We never asked for donations. We weren't trying to raise money. It just happened.
Yeah, it's amazing. The crypto community is so giving.
Right.
I even did it myself. We had a flood in Acapulco, which wiped out an entire town a couple years ago, and we raised $5,000 in Bitcoin, mostly Bitcoin, and we were the only people, just like you.
Yeah.
There was actually no government there at all. This whole town had got wiped out. We brought in medical supplies, food, water, and I actually asked the people there, I was like, where's the government? And they're like, I don't know, we haven't seen anybody. So we're the anarchists with the cryptocurrencies. We're out there saving everyone.
It's kind of a great thing. Well, I mean, it is devastating that these things happen, but it's good that people see that it's actually their neighbors and other, just people, strangers that are helping them and not government. And that FEMA and the Red Cross are more in the way. They're kind of a barrier between them and the things that they need.
Yeah, absolutely. Red Cross, people like Luke Rudowski have covered that so much. They raised, billions of dollars for Haiti and built like 5 houses.
Right.
So for the people out there, and you have personal experience,
Yeah.
would you suggest people donate to the Red Cross?
Oh, absolutely not. There's someone tagged me in some videos where they went to make donations for the Red Cross, and they caught the Red Cross actually throwing away brand new bags of dog food and bags of blankets, brand new Red Cross blankets and all this stuff. And their reason was that we need to get rid of this so we can accept more donations. So obviously, it's just like any other bureaucracy. They're trying to, legitimize their reason for being there. They'll say how much they bring in, but they're not going to tell anybody how much they threw away.
Yeah, that's crazy. So tell us a little bit more about Dash, because before all these disasters and stuff, which you've been helping out with, and you're going to Mexico City next, which is really interesting. But you were doing all kinds of stuff with Dash. You were something to do with cannabis dispensaries and all that. Why don't you just tell us
our proposal is that one portion of the money that we're paid by Dash pays for our radio commercials and for our general promotion on the radio show for Dash. The other portion was for unsung.org, that we would go out each month and try to feed homeless people and make positive press out of it, because all you ever hear out of cryptocurrency is it's for drugs, it's for this, or it's for that. And like, no, that's not what I use it for. I use it to feed people and help people. And so it's a positive image.
And Unsung, that's Jason Kelly, right?
Yeah.
That's also a past Anarchast guest. He's also here at the
He's
Dash
also
conference.
here, yeah. And actually, this kind of started out of something that me and Jason did in Austin in getting the Arcade City people involved with it, which turned out great. But so Dash had sponsored us for over a year, 2 6-month proposals, and that allowed me to have the infrastructure basically and everything set up in my trailer where I could just go just like that and do these things, because I had the money and I had the experience from doing it. My trailer was fully equipped to be able to do this. And just like the night of that we took off and got the donations, we just announced it on Facebook, and the next morning I was already in the middle of the storm. The storm wasn't even over, and I was already on my way there to help. So, I received those donations that night, and the next morning I was there at Walmart with my, shift card, using the Bitcoin that was sent to me by the listeners. So, I mean, that's how fast it happened. Like you seen the tweet to Peter Schiff. That was just a joke, of course, but. About the gold. Like,
all right.
Yeah, yes. I'm taking gold and Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. I'm still waiting on the gold.
Yeah, and tell us a little bit more about Dash, though, because you, people might not understand how it all works. So the part of Dash is actually set up to sort of self-finance certain things that Dash holders want to get done, right?
Right, yeah, so 10% of the block reward is set aside for developers, advertising, funding, college kids. We have 2 college kids from Iowa State that are here today that they asked the network to fly them in, and they're promoting it at their college campus. Just things like that. The master nodes are 45% of the network. The miners get 45% of the network. And the master nodes, with their 45%, get to decide what projects are worth funding. So they're vested by owning, 1,000 Dash for their master node. Currently, that's $350,000 that they have invested. So I guess they have the right to kind of decide what happens with the network.
Yeah, it's really interesting because that's one of these sort of issues with Bitcoin that you hear every now and then, is that there's no real no real process in place for people to be incentivized to be promoting Bitcoin. Now, of course, there is, because entrepreneurs will always do that kind of stuff, but Dash is set up in such a way, which is really interesting, to kind of have an extra incentive that it can give out to people to do stuff like this.
And you see a lot less splintering with Dash. I mean, I've not seen any division whatsoever within the Dash community, whereas with Bitcoin, you have kind of this, philosophical idea about it, and that's what drives maybe the core team to do what they do, and Roger to do what he does, and and so on.
What's your take on Dash in general? I got into it. You actually gave me my first Dash, by the way.
Yeah,
Thank you very
much.
And then I bought some, and I think I bought it around $15 or something along those lines. And it's now over 300, I believe.
353 earlier.
As of today, yeah. And I recommend it to subscribers around that $15 level, so we've done very well on it. But what's your take on it? Do you think you see big things happening for it?
I think so. Evolution is coming out, of course. That should drive the price up as well, because it's going to have so many features that make it, as Ernie would say, grandma ready, or grandma, even grandma can do it. The easy button, or the just button. Ernie's always got a great take on that. Yeah. I think that'll be good, and just all of the different integrations, because they have that money to bring on, Bitcart, is they've stopped using Bitcoin, and they're only using Dash now for like Amazon purchases and stuff like that. So there's so many things. Even Bitso, they're going to be working on integrating Dash into the Mexican Bitcoin exchange, which is going to be another reason why I'm in Mexico. Is while I'm doing that, I'm going to try to build a network to bridge the gap between people in Mexico and their family members that are in Texas.
Yeah, and that's another thing about Dash too. It's quite a bit less transaction fees and transaction times than Bitcoin, right? So when you are looking at things like remittances, perhaps Dash at this moment in time is a better thing to use than Bitcoin.
Yeah, for remittance, I would say so, because it's much cheaper. Bitcoin at this point is more like gold, and it's your store of value. And I still spend it, but.
Yeah, that's great. So you are going down probably to Mexico City to help out, as you said, to help get Dash implemented there, but also to help in the recovery effort yet again. Yeah,
I'm going to team up with Bitso, with the guys at Bitso, and we'll be on the ground working with them and making some relationships with Mexicans. I mean, us being there and them seeing that, we're doing that with cryptocurrency, and the government's not involved, and the government's not helping them anyway. It's going to paint a good picture of cryptocurrency for them and how to use it. In fact, right now, here at this conference, some of the people that are working the conference, doing the cleaning and cooking food, are asking questions about Dash, and there aren't any answers for them in Spanish. But we're going to direct them to. Actually, Maria's here, and she was telling them about some things in Spanish. So,
that's great.
But there are a couple other guys here, and I'm going to direct them to them.
That's great. So we're here in London. You're soon be going down to Mexico City. Is there any way that people can help with your recovery efforts in Mexico City? Just
reach out to us and find the Bitcoin address or the Dash address. We have Ethereum. The guy from Nexus has given us some. Steam It, you've done so on Steam It. Any way you want, or just go work direct with Bitso. They're giving 50%. If you donate 1 Bitcoin, they'll donate a half a Bitcoin towards the efforts. And that, I think they're saying that for Bitcoin, Ether, Ripple, and whatever else it is that's on their platform currently.
That's great. So we'll have the link to Bitso if you want to donate there. We'll put yours. If you can get me that information, that'd be great. And anything else you want to talk about? Crypto Show, what's going on?
You can listen to the Crypto Show live 8 to 10 on Wednesday and Sunday nights, Central Time. That's Austin, Texas time. Chris and I we're not experts, and we don't claim to be, but we do talk to the experts like Jeff and many others that will give you the information. We try to keep it light and funny, and we always, from the very beginning, have always thought that charity was a good way for us to to get more popularity for cryptocurrencies. Even before the show, we did that at the very first Bitcoin conference. You came to that, and we had several charities that we got signed up with Bitcoin, and we've seen that as a great way of just reaching out to the community and people that have no idea what cryptocurrency is.
That's great. So, and I'll be seeing you, if I don't see you beforehand, I'll be seeing you again in Anarchapulco on February 15th, 18th. Definitely. And yeah, you've been coming to the mall and you broadcast live the shows from there. You
can see some good stuff that we did with Roger and a few others on the debates. Those were fun.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll see you down there. And yeah, so if you want to help out with people in Mexico City, I was there, as I said, in person. I actually went down and met with Jose Rodriguez that night because the airport was closed. And, you know, there's certain areas that are okay, obviously, like it's not a total, you hear people saying it's a war zone. It's not the whole city, but there's definitely areas where they've had buildings collapse, and a lot of people need some help for sure there. And the government, as usual, is not probably going to be doing
I mean, do it yourself. Go and help out yourself. Send some stuff with people that you trust. You don't have to send it to us or Bitso. Do it yourself. I mean, don't ask permission, just go do it.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it, and that's what I've found a lot with these charities. The bigger ones, like Red Cross, it's just a big bureaucracy.
Yeah, they're just trying to justify their existence.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll have the links to all that down below. And if you like this video, please like, subscribe, share down below. It's really interesting how cryptocurrencies are helping out in so many ways and getting out there in so many ways and going up in value at the same time.
Yeah.
It's a great time for the cryptocurrency community. Of course, at Anarchapulco, we have a full day on the last day, which is February 18th, called Cryptopoco, which almost all the top crypto people will be there. Roger Ver, Trace Mayer, Dan Larimer of Steam, Anthem Blanchard, who's here, so many others, and of course, Crypto Show will be there.
And check out the Texas Bitcoin Conference on October 28th and 29th. We've got some of the same people, Bruce Fenton, Trace Mayer, and quite a few others that'll be speaking at that. And I'm sure we'll do some fundraising for
Did I get invited to that?
There.
I don't recall.
I did invite you. I'll send you some more.
That actually makes sense because I'm going to be on November 1st for the Steam conference, which is in Portugal, so I could quite easily go to that first.
Okay.
So if maybe I'll be there, maybe I won't. We'll see what happens.
Well, I invited you before I actually invited anyone else.
Oh, okay. I don't know what happened then, so let's make sure that happens.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll put the link to that down below as well. So that's it for Anarchast from Grey London, the city of London here, and that's it. So I guess that's all. So that's it for Anarchast, your home for anarchy on the internet. Peace, love, and anarchy.
In a world where Antifa riots in the city streets, cops rage out of control, and the leader of the free world is a fat-ass casino owner, one event stands alone to make anarchy great again.
I actually love humanity. That is why I'm an anarchist.
Words in the building like we the ceiling, we illin'. No matter who find it appealing, I'm here and I got a feeling that we'll be dealing a lot of pain with the penicillin get drilled in your head. That we are monsters and yeah, we come from the slums and for months we've been pumped, but for once I am now comfortable. I want to grow, I want some more success, and I want to know that greatness can't be rushed, can't be less. So face the bus, feel free to hate on us, we lace them up. Dudes, we done paid them up, keep snakes away from us and safe from us. You might wanna be. Remember when clowns used to make fun of me and that they wanna be me? See me and they run at me. I'm gonna be the greatest, yeah I wanna be, but I am not the wanna be the fakest for the sake of being played. I'm here like I never left. Said to hell, nah, cause I can't just fail. So just prepare your ears, it'll get for real. Take from here, we will never take the sale. It's squad time. My mind and my thoughts, my highs and my faults, my wins and my loss. When will I fall off? It's a test for me. You are now listening to Veracity. Yeah.
Fuck the media. Fuck the banks. Fuck drone strikes. Fuck tanks. Fuck hunger. Fuck war. Fuck ignoring of the poor. Fuck the left. Fuck the right. Fuck the government. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.